Okay, welcome everybody. It is the end of the month of May, and it's summertime already. I've got my summer tan on. We went to the pool today. Okay, so it is Sunday night TVAS team party, and we haven't had one in a while. It feels like a while, so I'm super happy to be on here with you guys, and I hope that there's a bunch of you on here because, of course, it's a really, really fun topic, and it's a topic that I will perfectly be willing to admit that I used to say I was a horrible recruiter until I realized that that was really stupid to say that you are a horrible anything. So once I stopped saying that I was a horrible recruiter, I started recruiting. Go figure. So if any of you say that that's not your specialty, that I just can't do it, I don't seem to, I can't seem to get people to want to join my team, I just suck at it, whatever. First of all, I want you to say, to stop saying that, because I realized that not only when you say things like that, you obviously believe it, and then you just don't work as hard. And then what I did was I kept trying and trying and trying and kept telling myself, I've got to figure this thing out. And what I did, ironically, I'm going to read this to you real quick because I was reading a book yesterday, and it was Brian Tracy's Focal Point, which is not a real popular book. There's Riley. Hi, Riley. Oh, bye, Riley. Will you close the door for me, honey? Thank you. Sorry, guys. Okay, so Brian Tracy's Focal Point. It's very much in alignment with his No Excuses book. If you haven't read that one, you need to read that one. But he says, when you're focusing on one thing, right, he gives a terminology called grand slam. So the slam part, S, stands for simplify. Stop doing as many things of low value as you can. Ask yourself, anything I'm doing right now, if there's anything I'm doing right now that I wouldn't do if I did it over again, that kind of thing. Basically ask yourself every day, am I doing the right thing right now? Or could I not be doing this? Or should I not be doing this? So that's your simplifying. You're basically, this is that whole like cutting out TV and things like that. But this is what I wanted to share with you, because I was like, oh my God, this is so what I share with you guys. And this is so much how I built my business. And this is so much how I got out of that recruiting funk. And I cannot encourage this more. And so when Brian Tracy said these things, I was like, okay, I got to say this. Okay. The L stands for leverage. Okay. There's 7 forms of leverage. 1, other people's knowledge or insights. Okay, so utilizing other people's knowledge or insights. Other people's energy. Okay, so that's number 2, other people's energy. Now, other people's energy, think about it, you guys. These are the events that you go to. This is the Super Saturday. This is Summit coming up, right? This is using that leverage to help you in your own success, okay? Other people's successes. So you utilizing, like, it's like you saying you're on, if you're a brand new coach, hey, I'm on, Team Victory All-Stars, it's got whatever, however many coaches. Like, you're utilizing the success of your team to take advantage of your own business. And this is what I like, using Mike Ryan. I mean, that's how I built my business. Hey, I'm on Mike Ryan's team. Now I don't have to say that. But I did. I used that. I absolutely leveraged that. Okay. And then here's a great one. And this is all of the training. Number 1, 2, 3. Oh no, this is not the next. The next one's the training one. Okay. The next one, 1, 2, 3. Number 3, other people's money. Well, we don't really use that much, but if you're borrowing money to get to the next level, to, you know, make it to summit, to, you know, where you're going to get your return on investment, it's you're using that leverage. Okay. But here's one. Other people's failures. Okay. Now, other people's failures is called the Team Victory All-Star training site, because all of that training is everything that I've done that I've fixed because I've failed. Okay, so just like this webinar or this team party is an example of I'm talking to you about my failures in recruiting, right? So here, okay, so other people's failures, right? You can either buy the wisdom. This is awesome. I love this. I have 6. You can either buy the wisdom or borrow it. So you're basically borrowing my wisdom. Don't try and reinvent the wheel, you know, and I'm going to go through this with some of my diamonds so that they can start adding their training onto the Team Victory All-Star training site. Take one of my videos, make one your own, and let's use that, right? You're using my knowledge because I've been in the business for longer. That's it. Okay. So, and also, you know, studying the failures of others, right? So if you ever hear other coaches say how they failed, you know, take notes of that and go, okay, I'm not going to do that, right? So you're leveraging other people's failures in order to help you succeed. And then other people's ideas. Okay, so here's an example of the Diamond Dash group of what we call, I don't know if some of you may know this, but we call our Diamond Dash group of 10 ladies, we call it like the cool kickball team, because in the wall there was a Diamond Dash group that we weren't good enough for, that we were denied. So we said, screw that, we're going to do our own, right? Which turns out to be the most amazing group ever, because these women are they're super awesome. So we're like the cool kickball team because we created our own. So I, every single day, utilize the ideas that we all share. I've gained so much, and this is exactly I've gained so much knowledge in recruiting and confidence in recruiting just by that one piece of leverage. And I say this all the time. So when you guys go to Summit, you need to connect with everybody but your team. I mean, we need to come together. First day, let's take a picture. But I really want you guys to think about this and meet people that are either at your pace or higher. If you can meet people at the higher pace that you're running, then you will be so much better off, because you will want to run as fast as they are, because you don't want to like slow them down, but that will only lift you higher. So by utilizing their ideas, you're only going to springboard your own success. And so I cannot say that enough. And so when Brian Tracy said that, I was like, yes, that's exactly it. And here's another one, utilizing other people's contacts. What do you think I did? So this is like summit number 6. What do you think I did for the first 3 summits? I tagged along with Mike Ryan. I didn't ask for him to say, come with me. I was like next to him everywhere he went, so that I was introduced to all of his friends and all of his contacts. And guess what? And I've said this over and over in my training too. Those people are also my nearest and dearest friends because I just tagged along. So another tip for you, especially because Summit's going to be so big. If you're ever at an event with your diamond coach, myself, Mike Ryan, Kelly Ryan, anybody that's been around that knows other people that have been in the business longer, have been more successful, and that's like has what you have, then my advice to you is to tag along, because your contacts are going to get you further. I posted this question the other day about, do you have more friends now or when you were a kid? Well, for me, it's more now, but it's these relationships that I have that I tagged along, and Mike introduced me every single time. So it was repetition. So people started to remember me, where it's now they say, like, I thought you were a 10-star diamond. Well, no, I'm not, but you keep seeing my face over and over and over. So whenever I send those people messages, I may have not sent them a message in 6 months, but they will answer my message because I've created a relationship just by utilizing other people's contacts. Okay, so yes, tag along. The more the merrier. I will be happy to introduce you. If I can't find you, then I can't introduce you. That's it. So that's cool. Posse, I'm good. I'm totally cool with that, because my goal is, that's right, my goal is to introduce you to those people, because guess what? Those people have contacts that you will be able to connect with that are at your pace or higher. Guess what? They may be tagging along with them, and you meet them, sit next to them at an event, or connect with them on Facebook, and you have that same relationship I have with my cool kickball team or whatever. And then you start to develop more ideas, and then you start to work together. So this really, 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 and the credibility, like, I'm going to edify every single person that's sitting next to me because you're on my team and you're awesome and you came, right? So you receive more credibility. And so if you sent them a message, they would be more inclined to write you back because you've developed that relationship. And I just edified it how flippin' awesome you are. That's how it works. Okay, so I wanted to share that because, sorry, bright light. The recruiting piece for me has been huge in the more people that I've connected with, the more confident I got in my recruiting, because I got to hear how other people did it and how it was like not a big deal. So I'm here to tell you how it's not a big deal, right? And you're like, you're right. Nobody's going to listen to me. I keep asking them and they just don't come. So now here we go. Grace groupies. I need another hashtag on the team shirts. You guys are funny. Okay. But before I go into this, let's do this. That kind of sets the stage for the nitty gritty detail stuff. What I wanted to do is, let's see how many people we have on here. All you lucky ones. Okay, so tomorrow's announcement on the National Wake Up Call, and I hope I'm right. If not, I'm indulging something that, whoops. What it looks like, and you guys probably already have gotten wind of this, but what it looks like is that there will be a Body Beast type program for women. It's a 60-day program. So I'm giving you the goods that I shouldn't be giving you, but you know what? It's going to get out anyways. 60-day program. Sagi and Autumn work together. Portion control and using his lifting and her shredding in one. I have no idea when it's going to be released or anything, but it's going to be huge. And yes, it probably is why the casting call is coming out. I don't know why the announcement's done tomorrow. I don't know if it was because it was accidentally kind of leaked or it was planned. I don't know. So anyways, this is really big because this is like taking it to the next level. And they, you know what, here's the cool thing about it is they listen to their customers. Like this is a perfect example of how they listen to their customers. Like all these women, and Carrie's on here, all these women took Body Beast that was really a manly. I mean, I looked through this, I even looked through the Beast thing today. This program was designed for men, right? All these women took it and like went with it. Okay, we're listening. And then obviously 21 Day Fix and like the portion control piece. Okay, let's marry them up. Like it's just so cool that they're not off in some other island creating things that are, you know, in their own minds. This is actually coming together. Okay, so I wanted to share that with you. You don't have to share it in the team page. You just know because you showed up. This is being recorded, so If they catch it before the call, then I don't know. And if that's not the announcement on the call, then more power to you. Okay, talking about recruiting. What are the things that you can tap into as far as recruiting? Let's just say I always like to start with like a new coach, because new coaches just haven't done it yet, right? So like, how do I talk to people? How do I invite people to coaching? So I'm going to start there. There are basically 3 ways to invite people to coaching. One is a sneak peek group, right? Which is typically a 5-day sneak peek group. I've run them. Other people in our Diamond Dash have run them, where we've been able to invite people to. Some of you have run them. Another term is an open house. An open house is something that I'm going to be doing this week, and it could be a total nightmare. But this is going to be in the team page. So really it is an open house. It's an opportunity for people to see what we are all about as a team, right? So, hello, we're awesome. So I'm really looking forward to this, because I take pride in the culture in our team and in our group. And I've asked, some of you are scheduled to share your stories in there. It's going to be very powerful with your stories, because it's only 3 days. And this is something that you can invite to, that you don't have to do anything. The only thing you need to do is keep track of the person that you invited to, and follow up with the person that you send there, and remove them if they do not join. That's it. That's your responsibility. Super easy. And I will go through like the conversations and all that. And then the next thing that you can invite someone to is a webinar. Now, I don't do them as often as I would like because of my schedule. So I find that the sneak peeks and the open house kind of work better with my schedule. I will say that probably the conversion rate on a webinar is higher than the sneak peeks and the coach opportunity open houses. So this kind of goes along with my next thing. So what can you do? You can do one of those 3 things. You can invite to a webinar, you can invite to the sneak peek, or you can invite to the open house. And inviting to those things are private messages. And again, I'll go through those later. Private messages, event pages on your like page, or event pages on your personal page, where you will invite a list. Now, if you have, I honestly can't remember where I shared this, if it was on the team page or not. You can, I'm trying to think, I'm going to go ahead and start screen sharing, because my next thing we'll talk about the back office and where to find something. Okay, so, all right, you should see my screen. If you haven't seen this yet, you guys get to see the message from my mom. And Michelle, you can see I'm studying up here to take my test. I will take it tomorrow, I promise. Okay, so if you haven't seen this yet, what you're going to do is every time you add somebody to your network, or even people that you're already friends with, you're going to hover over their name, and you are going to add them to a list. Okay, so you're going to hover over their name, and you're going to hover over I'm friends with that person, and you're going to add that person to a list. Okay, you're going to create the list. You can see my lists are Coach Prospects A, Coach Prospects B, Prospects A, Prospects B. We're in May. I'm adding people to B right now. So if they're a challenge group prospect, free group prospect, anybody that I've added goes into Prospect B, because it's May, for me, May. If it's a coach prospect, they will go into Coach Prospects B. Starting tomorrow, the 1st of June, I will go back to the A's. Okay? So that when I create an event page, and this is where I'm going, if I create an event page, you can create off of a list. So what I will do for my open house next week, I will invite everybody that I had added to my B, which was May, and what's before April? March and May. Those are the coach prospects, and those will be invited to the sneak peek next week. Now, next month, I'll be adding to, see how I alternate, so I'm not inviting the same people every month where they're like, oh my God, will you please stop inviting me? It's spread out by 2 months. But this is a super easy way to keep track of people that may or may not be interested in the coaching opportunity. So you start an event page and you invite off your list. This is like super duper easy, okay? Then what you do on that event page, and I actually have to create an event page. So I'm going to go ahead and do it. I usually do it in my groups app. I don't want to do that. Okay, we're going to go over here. And I'll show you how the list shows up. Okay, I'm going to go to events. And then I'm going to go create. And I am going to do 3-day coach open house. And then I'll put in some blurb, which I still have to come up with. Okay. I don't want to create, Facebook made this change just recently, and it's very tricky, and I actually screwed up the other day making it. There's a toggle here. What you want to do is create a public event, not a private event. That change they made will screw you up if you just keep clicking through. Okay, create a public event. I'm just going to put testing in case anybody out there sees it. And this is going to be June 2nd. And I just put 8 o'clock in the morning. It doesn't make a difference. And again, this new event format is, I'm learning as you're learning right here. Okay. But what I wanted to show you was you can go ahead and click invite. I'm not going to click invite because I haven't put the details in it, but you'll see where that list I just showed you comes from. So what I would do, since we've got an open house to invite to, you are going to go through between now, today's Sunday, between now and Monday, go through your friends list and start adding people to where you believe they should fall. If you would love to have them in a challenge group, this person would be awesome for coaching, then add them to your list, and then create the event page so that you can invite. Oh my gosh. Here. Suggested. What you do is you click more under the suggested list, and then I will find my coach prospects B, right? And select all. And that's it. That's automatically. So then come 2 months from now, there will still be this list, but it will also be others added to that list, and so on and so on and so on. Okay? So every other month, they're getting an invitation to a sneak peek or an open house or whatever you choose to invite to. Okay, so that's how you do it with an event page. But I also wanted to show you how you can do it without waiting for, let's just say you don't want to invite to this open house. Like, you're not ready for it this week, but you would love to do something next week. But next week there isn't anything. I don't have an opportunity webinar scheduled. You know, no open house, no sneak peek. But you know what? You're collecting the list all week. You're like, I want to do something. Here is what I want you to be brave enough to do. Okay, you're gonna go to your back office. I'm gonna show you where to find it. You're gonna go to your back office. You're going to hover over sales and marketing, and you're going to click on business tools. Okay. Then you're going to go to coach training. Of course, you know, every year this part changes. In fact, Heather was over at my house and I was trying to find this stuff because like it's changed. Okay, coach training, right? And of course, there's all this fun stuff that probably half of you haven't even seen yet. And then you're going to go to training library. Okay, you're going to scroll all the way down past inviting, even though that's probably really good stuff, to recruiting coaches. Now, what I want you to do, and there's no stress in this because you don't have to say on Wednesday night at 8 o'clock, I am doing a coach opportunity webinar. What I want you to do is get on Google On Air or a Zoom that you have set up to be able to record, because you have to have that account. So if you want a free account, just do it on Google On Air. But I want you to download this coach opportunity presentation, and I want you to edit it. It's so, in the old days, we didn't have something like this. It is the opportunity webinar in a PowerPoint presentation. All you have to do is plug in your own pictures. And then you go and you speak to the camera as if you're speaking to 150 people talking about this business opportunity, but you haven't invited anybody to it yet. You practice it, you record it, and then guess what? Invite that list to this webinar. And you can really say, hey, would you do me a favor? This is a really good way to do it. Would you do me a favor? Would you check out this webinar when you get a chance? This is the first time I've done something like this. I would love to get feedback from you. This is a perfect way for you guys to get one done and honestly get feedback from people, but really give them an opportunity to see what you just did, right? And you can't fail. I mean, you want to know how I do it? I I do the PowerPoint, and then I scroll through it, and I know the picture I'm talking about, so I just kind of talk about it. And then I scroll, and I just kind of talk about it. And it ends up being 30 minutes. Like, there's no, I just do. I am so not good at it, but it works because I've done it, and it works. And there's people that sign up the next day, and that's why I say the conversion rate on something like this is so much faster, because you basically give it in a nutshell one night, and they're excited, yes, I want to do this. So what I want you to do, because this is going to set you apart from saying that you suck at recruiting, is you're going to practice and you're going to create a coach opportunity presentation. And don't worry about inviting anybody until you've done it and you're like, okay, finished, yay. And it's up, and there's a link, and you just ask for feedback, okay? That way, let's just say you're not really still kind of, ooh, I know I'm not really happy with it, but you always have the link. So you're good on your list, you invite to the sneak peek, you invite to the open house, but you're in between and you're like, oh my gosh, this person would be great. So rather than post in the team page and say, hey, is there a webinar out there? You simply go to your YouTube channel and you send them the link. Now, what does that do? It shows the confidence that you have in this business because you have a link of a business opportunity webinar that you did, right? You could have nobody on your team and do this. It takes nothing, because all you're doing, and there's a guide here, it gives you all the information. All you're doing is sharing that. But when you share that versus sharing somebody else's, what were we talking about, leverage? That gives you so much more leverage in what you have to offer, because people are going, wow, she is kind of serious about this, or he is kind of serious about this. That, and it took you couple hours to kind of like do it right, get it so that it's on YouTube. That's it. But you always have that link to share. And guess what? Maybe a few months later, when you become more confident, you're like, I'm going to do another one. This time I'm going to do it live, and I'm going to record it so that I have a new one. Okay. So that is what I want to share with you, like how to kind of set yourself apart of just going through the motions and not having to wait for something. And really, I'm telling you, once you do this too, your own confidence level is lifted, and you have more confidence in those conversations that we are going to talk about next. Okay, does that make sense, you guys? I'm looking at faces. Yes? Thumbs up. Okay, and you know what? You can put your own, the nice thing is that it's editable, the document's editable, and you can put your own flair on it. You know, like Miss Butts, you put your own flair on there. You know what? Even in your health coaching practice, you can add things to it. You're like, this is how I utilize it, you know? So you can make it your own, but in the beginning, just like make one and just get it done. Okay. But you can always invite to the open houses. I'm just saying, if you want to be successful in a faster period of time, then that one move will get you a lot further, just so you know. And I'm sure that some of you on here that have done it will totally agree with me. Okay. So now, besides for you, those Facebook, I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing. You see my, okay. And I'm looking, can you delete lists? I'm actually trying to figure that out too, Mr. Kemp. But I Googled it. There is a way, but I haven't had time to do it. So instead, I just create a new one and they go on that list. And you can see how many lists I have that I can't even remember when I added them. Okay, so where can you recruit? Obviously, your Facebook, you've got your list of people, right? Now we've got, you know, the Instagram guru on here, Chrissy. You can recruit. I will say, I'm going to be totally straightforward here. I've built my business 95% on Facebook, but the more confidence I've had in recruiting has been on Instagram, because here's the secret, you guys. I don't know them. Honestly, I don't know them. So if they say no, okay, no big deal. But it's worth asking, right? And this is what I learned. And those of you that are in the Diamond Dash will learn that this week in there talking from Elise, because Elise is really just like, there was a light bulb moment for me. Oh my God, it doesn't matter. I can flip and ask whoever. See, on Facebook, you have to have that relationship where you're like, okay, this person's like creeping in my, you know, you really do have to build that relationship. But on Instagram, it's like, hey, I like your stuff. I'll show you the script. So Instagram is where you can really practice your confidence, but you have to go through the training, right? Right. Got to go through the training to build your billboard of like who you are. Okay. And then Facebook, and then YouTube, like what I just said. You do a business opportunity webinar. Here's the other thing. You have a YouTube channel that you maybe just have created. You have that on there. It has your name. It has your contact information in the description. So it is always on there. And guess what? YouTube is searchable. So if you meet somebody somewhere and they Google your name, chances are that thing's going to show up, because YouTube is very highly searchable. And that business opportunity webinar will be on there. And they'll go like, what? So YouTube is a very, very good way to recruit. And it just sits there. And it's like, it's recruiting when you're sleeping. Thank you. Because I will tell you, a lot of people that I've talked to, they do this on their own. They come back to me, they're like, oh, I've seen your videos, you know, I got all the information. Guess what? That's took me, 6 minutes to do a video, or 30 minutes to do a video, and it's sitting out there, and people go to YouTube. So they will go to YouTube and they will look up your name, and it doesn't matter. You can see my videos. I am so not fluff. I'm trying to be a little bit more presentable nowadays, because it's just something I'm working on. But for 6 years, I've just been like me, hair up, whatever. And those are hundreds and hundreds of videos on there of me being like that. And that's what people see, and they come to you and they will say, I saw your videos. So YouTube is a great way to do it while you're sleeping. And it's a no-brainer. All you got to do, and Erin's on here, and she just started her YouTube channel, and it was just like, Google how to do it, and you just do it, It doesn't have to be perfect. But I do have a video on my playlists that I did last week on how to create a video with lighting and stuff like that. Okay, so Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, those are places to do it, okay? And your event page through Facebook. I'm going to screen share my scripts. I know I've gone through these before. 1 second here. Okay, I need to pull up my Asana. And I'm going to just, here's what I want. I don't want to just read the scripts because you can't see them or you can't copy and paste them right here, right? I want to go through this and make it practical for you so that you can create your own scripts. This is how and I want to teach you how to create your own scripts because I realized that I didn't really have that many scripts because I've created them in my head, but I also realized in this last round of new scripts I've created, I've also taken into consideration how I would teach how to create this script. So that's what I'm going to do right now. And with recruiting, it makes perfect sense. Okay, so I'm going to go to my script. You can see, look at how far behind on my tasks I am, my friends, and I'm not stressed about it. So you shouldn't be either. Okay, so now in my Asana, I have all my scripts, right? I've got my challenge group scripts, which are grouped here. And then I've got and I just, in my own mental way, I group them by number and by me assigning my name to them. And then I've got my coaching scripts, and you can label them however you want to kind of stand out for you. But the same thing, there's a gap, and I've 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so I forgot to show you. So on Facebook, besides for the event page, if you have a like page, I'm going to show you this really quick if it pulls up very quickly. And I was talking to Heather tonight about this as well, and this has gotten done really, really well. So if you have a like page and you have enough likes to boost your posts, you want to be able to find this picture really quickly. And I know I've shown this before in the last couple of weeks, but if you haven't seen it, then you will see what I'm talking about. Okay, here it is. Okay, so this picture, I don't know if you saw this. Hold on. This picture I'm going to hover over. You see this 200, this is my like page, friends. I'll go to my pictures that went up yesterday and you'll see the difference here. 225 likes and 53 comments on this picture. Pretty darn cool, right? Okay, and this was a totally random picture I did. It was just me. The lighting happened to be great. It's this side of the house. And I put a quote up in the very top corner because I knew maybe if I did boost this on Facebook that it would be accepted because of the text rule, right? And all I did was I shared this very short piece. And this is one thing, you guys, this is kind of talking about how to create your scripts. Okay, so you talk about, and you always have this in the back of your head, feel, felt, found, okay? So how did you feel before? It's actually when you're talking to somebody, it's like, oh, I feel you. Here's how I felt, and this is how it changed. So anyway, so in the past, I stumbled upon health and coaching fitness 6 years ago. I was trying to help myself. It's very short. I sit here as a registered nurse earning more than I did working full time. Now, obviously that is not your story, but you have a story from where you were before. Now, let's just say you haven't made a penny in this business, but you still want to invite people to the business, right? Here's where I was before. I felt, and this could be you and it could not be you. I felt horrible. I had no self-esteem. None of my friends liked me. I just was hanging out with the wrong people, whatever it is. Okay, that's how I felt before. I got involved with the challenge group. I had the greatest accountability and support. I met the greatest people. I decided, and I got great results. I decided to pay it forward. Okay, so there's where I was. Here's what was going on, and what did I decide to do to fix that? I decided to pay this forward, connect with those amazing people, and help others. Okay, that can be your story. It doesn't need to be financial, but you obviously became a coach for a certain reason. You were in one place and now you're in another, and that would be your story. My story, as I sit today, is this. It does not make it any better, worse, nothing compared to your story. It's just my story. Here's where I kept it general, and this is why I'm telling you this. Question for you. Are you open to following your passion? If you're not sure, then I would love to show you exactly what I do as a health and fitness coach. Post your email below, and I will send you the link to the private group. Okay, so what does that do? There's no timestamp on this post, okay? I made this post April 24th. What do? I boost this post for a few days before my next sneak peek group. And then what do I get? I get emails. And then I pause the post. And then I boost it again. So that's why I have 200 and something likes, because I've boosted it every couple weeks for a few days. Why not use what's working? And then I go through the list and I copy and I send them my script. And then I start developing that relationship. So I have a list of coach prospects just from this one boosted post, which happened to be a random post. So I would see, you can see I'm still boosting it. I've got $3 left here from this boost. And I've targeted who exactly I want as a coach. So this is a targeted boosted post, okay? All right, so back to script. So basically I've invited on there and they said, okay, here's my email. So what do I send them? Okay. And it's always very general because I'm trying to build a relationship. Right here, we're talking about, and this script happens to be for Instagram or Facebook, but first of all, I always thank them. And I learned this from Elise, you know, and I mean, I already kind of did that naturally, but you always thank them for following your journey. Like, it's pretty cool that they're following you and that they ended up on your page. So thank you. You know, it'd be great for people to thank me for following somebody's journey. So why wouldn't I thank them, right? Thank you for following my journey and supporting it. It means so much. I'm sure you can relate. Send me a Facebook request and I will add you to the group. Okay, right here, there's no relationship building, okay? It is just a sneak peek. It is just an opportunity for me to put them in a group, okay? They're welcome to click on the link, but I have control of the group. So I'm gonna see who's gonna add themselves to the group. So if they click add to the group, I will say it's like the 80-20 rule. I say 80% click on the link, maybe not even that. But I will see when they ask to be, you know, added to the group, I will add them and then I will be the one to send them the friend request. Okay, simple as that. And then guess what? They go back on that prospect list because chances are the sneak peek that first time you're going to end up building the relationship later. But this is an opportunity for you to start that conversation. Okay, so it's thank you. It's here's the group, and then P.S. what sparked your interest in coaching. Okay, so remember, my thing is you always ask a question. I will say half the time I get an answer back and half the time I don't, but that's okay because I have a follow-up system. Okay, I think this is the same thing. I just added a few things to it. I like to have a few templates because sometimes I'll have a conversation with that person, so I may need a little extra information, but I want you to always say, thank you, I appreciate it. I'm sure you understand about the support thing. Here's the group. By the way, friend me on Facebook. This one, it actually says you can either be a fly on the wall or choose to participate. It doesn't matter. I keep it short, that first message. Okay. So now the follow, you know, this is it. Fortune's in the follow-up, you guys. That first initial invite is nothing. You're just like connecting with that person, hopefully. Okay. So that's not the one I want. I actually follow up on at the end of the week. Here. At the end of the week, on Monday, I'll say, I know you're probably looking forward to the weekend. I hope you had a great one. I wanted to see if you had any outstanding questions. You know what, guys? 90% of the time, I don't get a response back. That's okay. It happens. These people don't really know me. But it's me showing up. It's not me dropping and going. That is what a follow-up message is on a Monday following a sneak peek group. It's not whether or not you're going to get a response back. It's you showing up, showing interest in this person. By the way, emojis are really, really good in your, even if it's an email. Okay, and then another follow-up. Hey, I totally understand. If someone says they reply back and they say, you know, I didn't have enough time, which is like 90% of the time they do that. I didn't have enough time to, my week got really busy. Oh, I totally understand. So here's where that webinar comes in that you guys are going to do. I totally understand. I was incredibly busy too in my day job, or you can say the same thing. I am busy right now. I totally get it. Here's a link to a webinar. Take a look at it and I will follow up with you at the end of the week. Okay, so this is still, you're still connecting with them and not just dropping and going. It does take time to build that relationship. And this is where you put their information in your Asana and you put a due date exactly when you're going to follow up. Okay, now I also have another email where I put all of my videos in here. And I will tell you, it may sound overwhelming, even when I don't get a response back here. So I'm following up with you now that it's the end of the week, and I hope that you've had a chance to look at all the videos. This is another opportunity, and I list all those videos that I did. Here's what I want you to do. Here's another thing. Take a step out of your comfort zone. If you look on my playlist that says join TVAS, there are a list of videos. What I want you to do, because some of you already know the answers, I want you to create the same darn video so that you can send a video to your prospects and say, here's a video that are like the frequently asked questions, okay? Send that off. It doesn't hurt you. Honestly, you don't know these people and you're only showing up, okay? And then a final one, I got this one from Deb Basket, which I really like, is I totally don't want to be a pain. I just want to make sure that I'm answering your questions that you have. By the way, our mentorship program, is Coach Basic. What I say is our mentorship program starts on Monday. I want you to be a part of it. Guess what? It always starts on Monday because it does. There's always a group that starts on Monday. So my follow-up for a Coach Sneak Peek group is at the end of the week, on Monday, a couple days later, and at the end of that week, okay? Then I let it lie, put them in my Asana for next month. But I keep showing up, and I will tell you that I've gotten a lot of emails back that were after probably 3 or 4 emails that went to them that never got a response back. They were totally nice. I wasn't bugging them at all. Their life was busy and they were reviewing it. And so a lot of them, it's like, well, I don't, right now is really busy. And I say, okay, awesome, no problem. Is it okay for me to follow up with you next month? And 100% of them say yes. Okay, so by doing it this way, and by making it very systematic and not even thinking about, oh my gosh, they have not responded back, you just make it very systematic because you're showing up and you care and they're on your list and you can check on them and you can check on their Facebook page. It takes time, but you are showing interest in them and you're not being salesy. All you're doing in all of these messages, you guys, is making sure that they don't have a question. You're not saying, hey, I want you to sign up. Hey, I want you to sign up. Hey, I want you to sign up. You're saying, I want to make sure your questions are answered. And by the way, I have my the next coach group starts on Monday. I want you to be a part of that. In no way is that salesy or spammy or like, this is icky. This is like, I want you and I want to make sure you don't have any questions. Not like, hey, I want to get you in as fast as possible, right? Okay, so I have another script. I want to see if I really want to read this. It really kind of goes into, it's like a challenge group script, but I have a coach, I'm going to see if she's on here, a new coach on my team, who had concerns about cost, and even after watching those videos, And I always address the concerns because every single concern is, 99% of the new coaches have that same exact concern. So I always address that issue and say, I'm going to stop sharing because I'm going to talk about the scripts for the last 5 minutes here. I want to validate their feelings. So this is the same thing. Like I feel you, felt found. I want to validate the questions that you have, because even if you have questions after 10 emails, I just want to answer the questions. Whether it's the right answer they want to hear, I don't care. My goal is to answer the questions. I'm just here to educate, not to push anything on them. I just want to educate them, make sure they have all the information. So I always tell them, your question, 99.9% of the questions, or that was the same question that I had when I decided to be a coach. I had the exact same question. It's a great question. Here's what I know. If you don't know the answer, this is where you go to the team page and you say, hey, this person's asking me this question. Where can I find that answer? But I will tell you, if you look on the list, all of those are frequently asked questions, and I have yet to create a video that's like outside of those because it's always the same questions. So creating your script, I wish I had one that I just recently did. I basically take the same concept. I'm thinking in my head, that's why I have my eyes closed, thinking the same concept. It's, thank you. I totally validate what you're saying. Here is how I felt, X, 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 because it's whatever that concern is. I know 100% of you have an answer because you felt the same way, or maybe you know somebody who felt the same way, and you fill that in. I know what you're going through. Here's how I felt, and here's the solution that I found, or here's the solution that they found. Okay, none of that is pushing them into doing anything. It's validating their question, or it's validating their concern by saying you're not alone, by saying here's what I went through and here's my solutions. Shakeology, everything. You can do it for every single question or concern you have. And that's how you create your own script. So what I do is I will start with that beginning piece. And I would say, I felt the same way. And then I will say, and some of you may have seen this, like if it's like a challenge group conversation, all the details are the same, like how much a challenge pack costs, the value, blah, blah, blah. But the story above that is what really matters. So this person's concern is a financial concern. I will have my financial concern already written out because that has never changed. That was my concern. I don't have to keep writing it. I just know that I need to fill that one in because that's their concern. Or if it was a fitness concern, or, like I'm not where I need to be. And that's why I don't want to coach, because I don't feel like I'm, look like a coach or whatever. I felt the same way. Here's my story. Okay, so what I want you to do is I want you to take those, here's a great thing. I want you to take those frequently asked questions, and I want you to answer those frequently asked questions in your own story and have that in your Asana as a script, or Evernote, or whatever. I mean, I have all my scripts in Evernote, but when I'm having conversations in Asana, it's much easier for me to grab, copy, paste, and put in my Asana in their name. So if you take those frequently asked questions that are on the Join TVAS playlist on my channel, and answer those questions yourself with your story and type that out and have that in Asana, then anytime you get that concern or that, this is going to be so much fun for you guys, I swear. And guess what? You start going through those conversations so much faster because people ask the same questions. People have the same concerns. Like, I've been doing this long enough. I've talked to thousands of people, and there really is only this short list of questions or concerns. So if I already address those before they even ask them, because we've all had those questions, and I'm being personal on how I would answer that and how I dealt with that, then you don't have to think about it. That person has that question, you validate it, you're like, and then this is how I felt. Boom, copy, paste, and then here's the value. And it's being very personal, but you're not having to reinvent the wheel every single time you have a conversation. So therefore, those conversations are not stressful, because I know I've been there where you are dreading opening up your inbox. And guess what? That inbox sits there because you don't want to sit through having to write that email because you have to come up with an answer, right? Am I right? I'm sure like 90% of you are saying yes, because that was me. Once I had my story written down on like how I share it all the time, I just copy and paste it because that has never changed. It's my story. Okay, so for recruiting, do a webinar for yourself. Answer your frequently asked questions. And I'm not even asking you to do them on video, even though if you did it on video, it'd be like you get like bonus brownie points, right? You like the A student. But if you type it up and put it in your Asana, and then you have this conversation, you just copy and paste your story that relates to their concerns, then you are making it personal, you are sharing your story, and you are not selling, okay? So that is how I've been successful. Remember, I don't suck at recruiting. I've been successful in recruiting because it's just answering questions. It's targeting the right people. So again, we've talked about who are niches outside of fitness. For me, I'm a nurse. You know, Chrissy, you work on the farm. Like you're a photographer, right? So those are the people that I'm just tunnel vision talking to those people, right? So the same thing for the Steelers fan. See that? So like you could literally on your boosted post target Steelers fans, blah, 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 blah. Okay? Forget the fitness people, because I'm telling you, the fitness people have every excuse in the book. It is the people that are like you that didn't have the excuses. You know, I know this because I've had people go in my free groups and I've checked out their page, and guess what? They're in like 5 other coaches' free groups. Like, though I don't want those people in my groups because they're just finding the next great deal. And it's just an excuse after excuse. But if I target the people that speak my language, I know, Heather, we talked about that too, with like, you know, the movie industry and the moms that work their butts off and their kids are at daycare. Like those daycares are the people that you're targeting. You know, those are the people that you want to talk to because you have a solution for them. Okay. So you're talking to those people, you're boosting your posts to those people. So you know exactly, I've struggled for a long time with who I'm talking to. So if you guys struggle with that, the best thing to do, because there are so many people on this team, the best thing for you to do is to post that. Like, don't struggle in your head with it. Like, okay, here's what I'm struggling with. Here's what I like to do. And I will guarantee you everybody on this team that is in that team page will help you work through narrowing it down to anybody but fitness. Because it took me having to figure it out on myself and like asking a bunch of people a bunch of questions in order for me to go, duh, it's like, I'm talking to nurses, hello. So you're talking to the right people, you're boosting those people. That's why I have all those email addresses. You know what? 99% of those email addresses are nurses. Hello, like, why didn't I do this a long time ago? Targeting nerds, yes, but you need to be more specific, my dear. Okay, so then, and I'm asking you to step out of your comfort zone by creating the webinar, and it took me years to do it, but there also wasn't a template. So like, you guys have no excuse, and you're not inviting anybody to it. You're just doing it. You can do it 15 times before you actually say, okay, I'm done. I'm walking away from this. And you don't even need your face. You could be like scrubby and in your jammies, and all you do is you have that PowerPoint presentation up there, and you're talking, and you're just basically explaining what the PowerPoint is, okay? So real quick for next week, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, we're doing an open house in the All-Star group. I have 3, 6, 9 people sharing their stories 3 on each day, morning, noon, and night. I've got a post once a day for 3 days, different posts, and they are going to be in the team page. Okay, so be at your best behavior. No, I'm just kidding. Mom says, be on your best behavior, show up, and be happy. I'm not saying that because there's no negativity in the group, so I'm not worried about anything. But if you invite to the group, it's your responsibility for you to keep track of that person and take that person out next week. I usually give them a couple days, so it's okay. Give them like Thursday and then Friday. Saturday, the group's kind of slow anyways. Take them out on Monday, and here's a great follow-up. I'm going to take you out of the group. Is that okay? And then they're like, wait, or whatever. Super easy because you're not bugging them. You're like, hey, I'm going to take you out of the group. Is that okay? That's your follow-up. And then you can have the conversation. So give them a few days, but it's your responsibility to take them out next week because I don't want people to be in there like floating around for free. So make sure that you do. That's the only way to kind of keep this in check. But I think the stories are really what's going to be really powerful for your prospects. So share, and then you don't even have to be the 9 people. Like if you feel the urge to share your story, please do. The more the merrier. Okay, that's it. Does anybody have any questions? Because we're 6 minutes over now, but.
Group photo.
Oh, thank you. Oh, group photo. Okay, let me pull you all up here. Was this helpful? Or was I just, okay. I was not just speaking the same old stuff. Okay, let me get my thing up. I'm like sweating. Oh my God, the light is just.
A lot of people have their cameras off. Turn them on, people.
Aaron, Polly, Crystal.
Here we go.
Brian.
Can I show my beer?
God, go for it.
Yes.
It's a party. I don't care. It's a party. That's.
Didn't take it, but you can come.
Who says we need to be serious, right? Okay, guys, ready?
Oh, the camera was up.
I'll tell you when. Okay, give me your big old smiles.
I really don't.
Okay, got it. Good night. And thank you for you new coaches for hopping on the party.
Yay, party. Good night.
Right, good night, you guys.
Night, everyone. See you later.
What's out?
Ball out.